today. My name is Doug Muetzel, and I have the incredible privilege of being the CEO of Westmoreland Family Services. At Westmoreland Family Services, even an event like this, it's exciting to have Secretary Arkoosh with us, and so we appreciate that. We're excited about all the vendors that have come today to support the idea of wellness, but we don't do anything unless we really feel confident that this will do something to help us empower children, adults, and families by providing transformational care. That's really what we're about, empowering children, adults, and families by providing transformational care. Today is part of moving that forward. To have the secretary today is just a great joy. We know her leadership, we know her resolve, and we're also looking forward to the impact that she's going to continue to make in that office, having an incredible amount of purview, has already demonstrated great leadership. So, Secretary, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate that. In terms of staging up the day, I just wanted to comment a little bit about the idea of wellness. So today we also introduced and announced the opening of our wellness center. And we said earlier in the morning that at Wesley, you can't take the concept of wellness and separate it from the concept of mission. It just doesn't work, right? We're here to empower children, adults, and families. We really believe that if we can provide wellness for those that we're privileged to serve, good things will happen. But we've also learned in kind of a difficult way since COVID, that wellness for staff is equally as important as wellness for those that we're privileged to serve. And so today is screaming about that, right? From the tables to the secretary coming, and we're just privy to that. We think at Wesley, we've had a pretty good track record, an historical view of wellness. You know, today we serve 20,000 plus people across this region. Right? We have staff in excess of 800 people, and we've been at this a long time. So this historical track record is good. Today, the current impact on wellness, you saw that with the opening of our wellness center and this event. What we're hoping to also get out of today is for us to leave with a sense of hope for wellness for the future, because that's really what we want. As many people have told me, Doug, what did you do for me today, right? Not about yesterday. So we want to let this crowd advance our view to the future of impact. At Wesley, one of the things we take very seriously, and we've learned over many, many years, is that dealing with the whole person is the best way to go at it. So we branded a number of years ago the concept of quality whole person care. And so one of our leaders that's been at the helm of that for a long time is Duncan. I'm going to have her provide some context. I think that will be important as we lead into the other speakers. So once again, I want to thank you on behalf of Wesley. I'm humbled by the attendance today and the excitement that you've all demonstrated. And so without further ado, Heather Duncan. Heather.
To all of you for being here. It's really exciting to see our halls filled with this many people. So if it's okay, there's two trends that I'd like to talk about that we're seeing across the agency. The first is that individuals and families coming to us are coming with more and more complex needs. The other, as Doug alluded to, is that since the pandemic, we've been seeing a workforce shortage even greater than what has kind of plagued our sector for years. And our response to that at Wesley is what we call quality whole person care. Quality whole person care is our service philosophy that really aims to enhance the clinical care that we're providing to individuals served, but it's also a model that helps us to support the staff. And we're really hoping to be able to, that our wellness center is going to be able to provide some great workshops for everyone involved. So quality whole person care is comprised of 6 components. First, it's based on the cornerstone that every individual is valuable and has unique gifts that are special to them. And so we use that cornerstone to develop the care plan and make sure that the care plan is strength-based and recovery-oriented and trauma-informed. We also focus on assessing and addressing social determinants of health. And that's really important because we know that if someone's coming to us with basic needs like housing and food insecurities, if we don't address those first, then they're really going to have a difficult time being successful in treatment. Quality whole person care also focuses on overall wellness and SAMHSA's 8 dimensions of wellness. And our launch of the Wellness Center today is a prime example of how we're approaching overall wellness for our staff and the individuals in our care. And we really wanted to thank Rob Hamilton and the Westmoreland County Commissioners for allowing us the opportunity to develop the wellness center and fund it. So a couple other components of quality whole person care, we focus on integrating physical health in our behavioral health services, particularly in the division that serves individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and our programs that serve the severe and persistent mentally ill. The model also focuses on health equity, and that's really important. We want to make sure we're increasing awareness about gaps in access, treatment, or outcomes, because we not only want to ensure our services are making a difference for the individuals we serve, but we want to make sure they're making a difference for all of the populations that we serve. And lastly, quality whole person care focuses on community partnerships. And as you can see, just by the turnout today with our community vendors, that's really important to us. Wesley offers a lot of programs, over 55, but we can't do it alone. So it's really important that we work alongside our community partner to address the full spectrum of an individual and family's needs. So we're really looking forward to talking a little bit more about each of those topics as the afternoon progresses. But without further ado, I wanted to extend a warm welcome on behalf of Wesley Family Services to Department of Human Services Secretary Val Arkoosh.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Boy, this is a great room. Congratulations on the opening of your new wellness center. This is so exciting, and it is so great to see so many community members here. And Heather and Doug, thank you so much for that warm introduction, and really, congratulations. Just the minute I walked in the building, I could feel all the excitement, and it's great to be here at this opening, and kind of nice of you all to throw me a party.
We like parties.
Now everybody does that for me, and I won't forget. So it's really, really great. It's nice to see folks from Representative Cooper's office here, and also I want to acknowledge Commissioner Kopas, Ted Kopas. As you heard, the county commissioners here helped to fund this center. I am a former county commissioner of 8 years. Prior to becoming DHS secretary, I served as a county commissioner in Montgomery County. So I know how hard that work is, and I'm grateful for your service. I'm grateful that you could be here today. And county commissioners get to do really wonderful things, like help make sure that places like this have a chance to grow and thrive. So it's really terrific to be here to celebrate with all of you. And there's another thing that all of you can do that really needs a hands-on, full community effort. And that is to help make sure that every one of our friends and family and neighbors who qualifies to be enrolled in Medicaid, to get their health insurance through our state system, remains enrolled in Medicaid. And we're at a critical juncture in that work right now. During the pandemic, we had the ability to keep anyone who was enrolled in Medicaid no matter what. But the pandemic has ended. And so the federal government has required that we go back to our pre-pandemic processes of once a year having to redetermine whether or not an individual still is eligible to receive health care through the Medicaid program. This is so important. You know, as a physician, I see every single day the kinds of things that Heather talked about, that you have to be able to take care of the whole person. So one aspect of that, one very important aspect of that, is making sure that people's social needs are met, that people have safe housing to live in, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, that people have access to the medications that they need. But they also need that healthcare piece to go with it. It's the two together that allow our community members to live their healthiest and best lives, which of course is what they deserve. And so a major part of making sure that people have access to that health care is, for so many of our friends and neighbors, ensuring that they are able to access affordable health care. For 3.5 million Pennsylvanians, that affordable health care comes through the Medicaid program. So I just want to make sure that people are aware that we are at this critical juncture. This process started back on April 1st. It will take an entire year to go through this process, and nobody is going to lose their health insurance automatically. Every single person will be given an opportunity to submit their information and make sure that they still qualify. And if they don't still qualify, we have a plan for that too. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But as I said, if people don't participate in this process, then Pennsylvanians to the tune of 3.5 million people are at risk of either losing or having a gap in their healthcare coverage. So all Pennsylvanians who are covered by Medicaid or CHIP will have a chance to complete a renewal or update their information in these coming months. And perhaps some of you, friends or neighbors have already been through this process. But if you haven't, your renewal date will come sometime in the next year. By completing a renewal and submitting it, we can figure out if you still qualify to get your health care through Medicaid. And if you don't, we will automatically and securely connect you to other sources of coverage, like health insurance plans offered through Pennie. Pennie is Pennsylvania's health insurance exchange, and you're going to hear more about that from my good friend Chachi in just a few minutes. But the first and most important step in this entire process is to make sure that you are getting the information about your renewal. And that means that those of us at the Department of Human Services in Harrisburg need to have your most up-to-date contact information. Because if we mail the information to the wrong place, it's not going to do anybody any good. So you can update your information if you need to by going online to dhs.pa.gov/stay covered. And you can download the free Compass PA app if you have access to a smartphone, or you can call us and update your information over the phone. When the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services has your correct contact information, we will contact you with plenty of time before your renewal is due. And if you don't know your renewal date, you can also check that online via that app or by phone. And finally, once you know your renewal date, you'll be able to make sure that you complete that renewal on time. If you miss your renewal deadline, we all know people get busy, you can return your packet late. So if you pass the deadline, don't give up. Send us that packet anyway. You can also appeal a decision that we made. If you think we made a mistake, you have every right to appeal our decision, and we encourage you to do that. So we just want to make sure that we keep every Pennsylvanian covered. Even if you think that you might not be eligible for Medicaid, you know that your circumstances have changed. Maybe you have a job that's paying a little bit better, and that's really great if that's the case. But maybe that job doesn't come with health insurance. You should still submit that Medicaid packet, because if indeed you're not eligible for Medicaid any longer, we will then send your information over to Pennie. You don't have to start over. They're going to have all that information that you already filled out. It's securely transferred. You'll be given a login for a new account on the Pennie system, and then you can shop for health insurance plans on our Pennsylvania Health Insurance Exchange. This is so important because this is about your health, the health of your family, the health of your loved ones, your friends, your neighbors. We don't want anyone to go without coverage. So please check your renewal date, make sure we have the most up-to-date information for you. And as you get closer to that renewal date, look for information from the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. Please don't toss it into the recycle bin, because we know it's tempting, but we need you to fill out that information. So thank you all so much for having me here today. Congratulations again on this amazing center. And it is places like this that are helping us get this job done. I'm certain you have people here that can assist people with this process. I'm guessing that you provide people access to computers who may not have a computer at home. There's so many ways that we can come together as a community and make sure that the people we care about stay covered. With 3.5 million Pennsylvanians getting their insurance through Medicaid, every one of us knows many people who are getting their health insurance this way. And the important thing is just help raise this awareness. Just let people know. Hey, have you all heard? You've got to reapply for Medicaid this year. Take it to your neighborhood block party. Take it to your faith community. Any place where you can help spread this word, it's all hands on deck. And I know if we work together to get the word out there, we will help Pennsylvanians stay covered. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for just a second. I want to remind the secretary and anybody here too. So Wesley has taken this very, very seriously. We are averaging anywhere up to 5 to 6 touches per client we serve regarding their current status. Our MCO companies that are, they pay us and we contract with, they have taken equally as seriously. So I think in Southwestern Pennsylvania, we represent some other model, but it's not perfect. So people in the room, what the secretary said, this is really a big deal. This is not just something to pass by. And so if you need help or you have a question about something, you can certainly call Wesley and we'll help make sure you navigate. Obviously, Penny's a tremendous resource here too, and we'll do that. So just want to underscore what the secretary said, and it's important to all of us to do that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chachi Angelo. I'm the Director of External Affairs with Pennie, which is the Pennsylvania's official health insurance marketplace. We pick up where Medicaid leaves off. Thank you, Secretary. It's always great seeing you and collaborating in this effort. This is the biggest room that we've played, I think, at least that I've been involved in. And health coverage, I think, is something very important to talk about. It's not always top of mind. I mean, Pittsburgh has an offensive coordinator that we need to fire, and that's or do we keep him? It depends on what happens with the Texans this week. But it's hard to think about health coverage. It's hard to think about that and having it top of mind. But, you know, in those times, health coverage provides the peace of mind, financial security, and access to a full range of medical care. So, you know, whether you're worried about the cost of getting sick or injured or dealing with daunting medical issues, health coverage allows you and your family to focus on taking care of that and not, you know, what it takes to pay for it. So let's talk a little bit about Pennie. We're dealing with an uphill battle on getting the word out about what Pennie is. I grew up not very far from here, and I understand that changing the mindset or introducing someone new or something new to Pennsylvanians is an uphill battle. I'm forever going to call it Heinz Field. So Pennie replacing healthcare.gov is something new, and it's an uphill battle, but we're better suited to serve Pennsylvanians than the federal marketplace at healthcare.gov. So you can buy health coverage from a variety of different sources directly from an insurance company, but Pennie is the only way that you receive financial savings to reduce the cost of your monthly payment or out-of-pocket costs. And at Pennie, you can compare health plans across different companies and define which best works for you, your family, and what best works for your wallet. And this is done through an on-the-spot tax credit, only available through Pennie, and that can instantly lower your health coverage. Now, without the financial help through Pennie, health plans can average around $500 a month. But through Pennie, your monthly payments are based on your income. So you pay based on what you earn. Pennie's designed to pick up where Medicaid leaves off. So if you make too much for Medicaid, chances are that you'll receive significant savings through Pennie. So for the over 20,000 folks that have already enrolled after losing Medicaid, about half are paying $50 a month, and 1 in 5 are paying less than $1 a month. So when we talk about value of the plan, this is a $500 a month plan, and half are paying less than $50, and a quarter are paying less than $1 a month. And that's really where the conversation starts, right? For if you're talking at a block party, if you're talking at your faith group, if you're talking just one-on-one with a neighbor, you know, cost is always the number one thing. So if you're able to relay those numbers, then it's at least gets folks through the door to investigate their options. Now that we've talked about cost, let's talk about the key difference between the health plans that you're going to find through Pennie and what I mean whenever I say that it's the home of high quality plans. So they have high quality standards and important consumer protections. This means that all the health plans that are sold through Pennie adhere to the 10 essential health benefits of the Affordable Care Act. So things like hospitalizations, maternity and pediatric care, prescription drugs, mental health services, a lot of the services that can be received right here. And all the plans must cover care for pre-existing conditions. Everyone should be aware that, you know, plans sold outside of Pennie don't have these same protections, even though they might have a veil over them that make it seem that way. So you know, if you're getting a health plan through Pennie, that it's not junk. That if you get hurt, if you get sick, there's not going to be those hidden fees. You know, many in this area have already experienced the peace of mind that comes with Pennie coverage. Over 10,000 individuals in Westmoreland County signed up for 2023 coverage. I mean, just think about it, 10,000. And let's put that into perspective. That's how many years Route 28 has been under construction. I tested that joke with so many Pittsburghers, and they're like, it's gonna fly, it's gonna fly.
It's actually true.
Now, if you looked at health coverage through the marketplace before, you should really look again. Pennie is, like I said, tailored to Pennsylvanians and has lower plan options, lower costs. There have been federal policy levers that have been pulled to bring those or add more additional savings to a health plan. And now we have better coordination with Medicaid and CHIP. And now, speaking of Medicaid and CHIP, and going back to really the reason why we're here, Pennie's been collaborating with Medicaid and CHIP for over a year and a half now, just for this unwinding process. So when you respond to that renewal packet from Medicaid and CHIP, you may no longer qualify based on income. So your information will be securely and automatically transferred to Pennie. And then we do a lot of the work for you. We take all the information that you've already given to DHS and we do a pre-filled Pennie application. And then we're able to estimate how much savings that you can apply to a health plan. And then we give you your deadline and give you an access code. And all you really have to do is come in, access your plan, pick a plan, and stay covered. We've been encouraging folks to enroll within the first 60 days of losing Medicaid, because again, another policy lever has been pulled to make sure that there is no gap in coverage. There will be additional time there for the procrastinators like me, but doing it in the first 60 days ensures that there's no gap in coverage. If you go past that deadline, if you go past that 60-day deadline, that 120-day deadline, the next chance for you to enroll is coming up very soon, which is the start of Pennie's open enrollment period. Open enrollment is when the doors open for all Pennsylvanians to come in and enroll in health coverage through Pennie. That starts on November 1st, with December 15th being the first deadline for coverage starting on New Year's Day. So one of the biggest challenges is making sure that anyone losing Medicaid knows that Pennie's an option. That's why I'm hoping that us playing to the largest crowd here with this press conference can spread that word of what Pennie is, who we serve, and how we serve. A recent study asked Medicaid recipients, what they would do if they lost coverage. So about a third said that they would know where to go. About another third said that they would go to the marketplace, and then 15% said that they would, likely go uninsured. So some know where to go, some don't know where to go, and some would say, I'm just going to stay uninsured. I'll risk it. And with medical debt being the #1 case for debt in America, they're really rolling the dice. So again, another reason to spread the word. Pennie has the infrastructure in place to help folks too. So I know that acquiring health coverage is a very daunting task. All somebody has to do is raise their hand. With representatives here, I'm seeing the Pennie bags over there that are assisters within your community. There's brokers. Our customer service reps are ready to help at any point, and our website is pennie.com, PENNIE.com. But really, this whole process, especially for those losing Medicaid, starts with that renewal packet. So update your information, respond, and then stay covered either through Medicaid or through CHIP. So thank you again for letting me spread the word about Pennie. Thank you, Secretary, and we'll pass it off to our commissioner.
Thank you, Chachi. You gave away your roots within the program. I'm last on the program, so I have the burden of trying to put a nice bow on this and put a period to it. I also have the luxury of going on as long as I feel like. Last, I will focus more on the former than the latter. Secretary Arkoosh, we are honored by your presence here today. Thank you. We appreciate your commitment and Governor Shapiro's commitment to our most vulnerable, as the administration has proven once again by your presence with us today. Chachi, thank you for proving that government can work. The message here today is the importance of not having a gap in coverage, but also proving that government can work. As you're going through the Medicaid process and you're not eligible, the system is set up to push you to the next in line. Government can and should work. Thank you for proving that to us today. Nothing is more important to our most vulnerable, or really to every family throughout this state in Westmoreland County, than health coverage. And we all know the profound negative impact any gap in coverage can provide. Not just for traditional healthcare services, but for that full continuity of services and supports that many of our families depend on. Thank you for delivering that message. Westmoreland County will do its part. You have our commitment. And anyone in Western Pennsylvania, please take heed to the Secretary's message today. And to all of us in this room together, we all have a role to be ambassadors in this. To make sure that no one is left uncovered, that no family has gaps in coverage. And we're living up to our responsibility to care for the most vulnerable among us, who through no fault of their own, more often than not, find themselves in these situations. Lastly, to our friends at Wesley, thank you very much for hosting this today. We are really honored by the number of folks who showed up today. You know, 4 years ago, I had the privilege of helping break ground on this facility. And really, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing what comes at that moment. So here we are, this beautiful, wonderful facility, which Westmoreland County rightfully supported through federal ARPA funds to provide these much needed services and supports here. So thank you all at Wesley for what you do. I went on a personal note. 2 of my 5 children have intellectual and or developmental disabilities. And so I have made it a priority of mine to focus on these issues, not for my own good or my family's own, but for the hundreds of families that I've encountered in my own life experiences who are counting on all of us to get it right. Your presence here today shows we can get it right. Secretary, your commitment to this process shows we can get it right. So let's take this message forward today as a group, as a team, and make sure that no Pennsylvanian is left uncovered. Thank you all for being here today. It was good enough.